Hello and welcome to the Multifamily and More Expert Series, where we dive deep into a specific topic related to real estate, mindset, or anywhere in between. Today's guest, Kris Reid, very interesting, is an SEO expert, the coolest guy in SEO I've read, and he's a president of Ardor SEO. Coming to us from Vietnam, where it's a little bit later in the day than it is where I am right now. And I'm excited to talk about SEO, and we'll define that and really how that relates to the real estate investor. So Kris, welcome.
Dude, what an awesome time to be alive with COVID rampaging across the world. Man, there's never been a better time to be working online. And having a good online presence allows you to live wherever you want, which is why I'm in Vietnam.
Good for you, man. That's amazing. Well, I want to get into that a little bit. Let's start a little bit with your backstory. What's the history of Kris? Let's go there, and then I want to kind of define SEO and go from there. So, what's your high level backstory?
So just to clarify, SEO is boring. Most people don't give a crap about it. But the unfortunate truth is most businesses fail. And they fail not because the entrepreneurs are not working hard enough or they got bad products and services. They fail because they can't get enough customers. And that's what SEO is getting your message in front of your ideal customer to help you predictably grow your business. And so that's what we do. How I fell into this game, so you might tell from my accent, it doesn't sound too Vietnamese. Originally from Brisbane, Australia. I studied software engineering at university. And there's two ways to make money as a software engineer. You can either go to Silicon Valley or you can go the finance route. I picked up my bags, moved to London, went and worked for a bunch of hedge funds, making billionaires more money. It's pretty soul destroying work, but they pay enough that you learn to forget about it. Sure. Life was awesome. I was making a whole bunch of money. I had Europe as my playground. I'd go to Paris or Berlin or Amsterdam on the weekend. It was awesome. My ego was as big as the sun. I was indestructible. That was until the global financial crisis came along and kicked my ass. Yeah. I lost my job. So did everyone I knew. Finance was in ruins and there was no jobs to be had. I went back to Australia with my tail between my legs thinking, what the hell am I going to do with my life? I'm in my mid-20s and my career's already over. That's fun. And being a computer geek, I just built an online game just for a bit of fun. I was trying to learn some new technology. And I was like, well, how the hell do you get people to a website to play the damn thing? And so I started digging into what SEO is, getting traffic from search engines. I uncovered what backlinks are. I built a bunch of backlinks to my website. It shot up in the rankings. I got a heap of traffic and I went, wow, this is pretty fun. And eventually worked out that it's pretty valuable too. And so I've been doing that ever since.
Wow, amazing. I'm curious about the game, how that went. But SEO, can you define that for us real quick? For those in the real estate space who are saying, okay, what's this SEO thing? What does that mean? And can you just give us a quick description of what that is?
Yes, sure. So most people understand that they need a website, but you don't really need a website. If you're not going to do anything with a website, what's the point? And I see multifamily people all the time with these websites that totally suck. So why'd you bother wasting money on it? Website is like a business card. A big flashy business card ain't no good if it's sitting in your desk drawer. You need to get out there and hand it out. A website, if it looks amazing and no one finds it, who cares? A website doesn't have to look beautiful. Beautiful websites don't sell things. It's words that sell things. And people need to those words need to get in front of your target audience for it to matter. And that's what SEO is. It's search engine optimization. It's understanding, how Google works. Google is the biggest search engine, so who cares about the other ones? Understanding how they work, understanding what your clients are, what they're searching for, and how to structure your website to get it in front of where these people are looking. They're actively looking for exactly what you do. So get your message in front of them, and what's a better way to grow your business?
So let's talk about SEO, search engine optimization, as opposed to, because you hear all these things out there. If you're at all connected to the space, like SEO is dead. It's all about ads, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever, right? It's all the social media stuff. It's not about SEO. Give me an idea of what a good website right now, maybe somebody you work with, a company you work with that has a website out that you have, put processes and systems in place, what that can do still for what kind of lead generation that can generate just by not so much focusing on Facebook ads and all that stuff, but how does SEO still get business or leads in front of investors?
For sure. So just a little while ago, one of my favorite people in the world, who's one of our clients, Avery Carl, a new client, she's a realtor and she's really kicking ass. a new client wanted a reference, so I asked her to speak to Avery, and Avery sent me an email of what she told that person. I'll just read it to you. She said, "I told her I sold 56 million in real estate in 2019, and in 2020 I sold 158 million. Hiring you guys and hiring more agents to help with the volume are the only two things I did different." It's like, man, what an awesome testimonial. And she did that whilst having a baby. Like, Avery is a gun. And that's exactly what SEO can do, is because you have, unlimited leads. You have whatever leads you need. All digital marketing kicks the crap out of any traditional marketing. I don't know why people waste money on Super Bowl ads. Like, you're crazy. Facebook ads would be more effective. But the one thing that SEO has over all other ads is that you're, for one, interrupting people. People on Facebook or YouTube, they don't give a crap about you. You're interrupting them. They're there to be looking for their friends. Where SEO, that person is actively searching for exactly what you do. The buyer intent is so much there. And the other thing is that it's compounding. Facebook ads or YouTube ads or Google ads, as soon as you stop spending, you stop getting. Where SEO, the work that you did last year, you get this year and you get next year. If Avery stopped working with us, her website just would hum along, and her lead cost drops to zero. Though we just did a new strategy for her because we already hit all our goals, and so we're putting together a new strategy to increase those goals. That's our perfect customer. But what we always do with a client is estimate what your cost per leads are going to be, and then your cost per lead over a 12-month strategy implementation. And that's going to drop month on month on month. And then, after month 12, it drops to zero if you don't want to, increase it anymore. And that's the benefit of SEO, that compounding effect.
So, all right, that's interesting. I love the story. 50 million in revenue or in sales, hire you 150 million in sales while pregnant. That's an amazing testimonial. I love that. But what is it that she's a realtor, it sounds like. I'm in the multifamily investing business, and just I could throw a rock and find a dozen people that are also in this business, that are also sourcing leads, that also have a website, that also are doing search engine optimization techniques, or have hired somebody to help them with that. How do I stand out? How does she stand out in a marketplace where there's got to be dozens of people within her space, and the customer she's seeking is the same customer that those other dozens of people? Like, how does one person or one business or one lead generation website, how does that stand out? What are some things that you do that make people stand out?
Quite lucky that actually most people don't do any optimization on their websites at all. Most websites aren't optimized. Like, most websites suck. They really, really suck. Like, I'm in the real estate world and I look at real estate websites all the time, and they suck. Even some big websites suck. Sotheby's is the worst. Like, they have such a big brand and spent so much money on the website. So one of the secrets to SEO, which I kind of preloaded at the start, is backlinks. That's how Google trusts you, right? So
I'm sorry, what was it? What's it called?
It's called backlinks. A backlink is the secret of how Google works, because anyone can write any crap they want on the internet, right? And Google can't implicitly trust you, because, especially when it comes to money, right? It's to go, hey, I'm the best multifamily syndication company in the world. Give me your money. Like, how does Google know if that's true? I can build a beautiful website and make it say that today. Google can't really trust what you say. They have to trust what everyone else is saying about you. And they do that through backlinks. Who's linking back to you from another website? Basically, the more powerful that website is, and the more niche relevant it is, the better that backlink. And so the more backlinks you have coming to your website builds up your domain authority. And basically, the bigger and stronger your domain authority, the easier you can rank for anything. And so a good example of a crappy website is Sotheby's. Zillow and Sotheby's have almost the exact same domain authority. So they should be able to get pretty much the same amount of traffic. Sotheby's gets less than 2% of the traffic of Zillow. It's like, how many gazillions of dollars is that costing you guys? It's like, you have this strong brand and this strong domain authority. That's the hardest bit. It's like, if you structure your website and fixed all the internal stuff, your traffic would go through the roof, So if anyone at Sotheby's listening, give me a call.
Wouldn't be a bad account to have. That's interesting. So I know, like, if I Google me, because I'm vain and narcissistic, if I Google myself, a blog post that interview sort of thing that I did with a company that we work a lot with called StackSource, which is an online platform for finding commercial lending. Right, a great company, but they pop up first. Like I've done a lot of things. I've been on podcasts. I have stuff that I put out on my own, but that comes up first. So I'm assuming then that they've done something in their algorithm or whatever it is. They're creating some sort of optimization to allow for that to happen when I think of LinkedIn. LinkedIn does that. If you search a lot of people on LinkedIn or a lot of people in Google, LinkedIn is the first thing that pops up for them if they don't have another site. Is that because LinkedIn, StackSource are optimizing their search engine capability with?
It's like if if you search my name, much better stuff will come up than LinkedIn, like to start with. Like LinkedIn will rank eventually for anyone's name because it'll rank. Something's got to come up. If you search absolutely anything, something comes up in Google, right? It's got to find the most relevant thing. It doesn't mean that it's good or bad. Like there's no search volume on those keywords, so it doesn't even matter. So I give you a good example, right? So Vinny Chopra, who is pretty big in the multifamily space, everyone knows him. I was looking at his website yesterday, and really it only generates traffic for his brand name, and like every page has his brand name on it, and it's like, why? You're wasting your space. Which page is meant to rank for your name? Well, you don't really need to focus any of them because you should be number one for your name anyway, and if you don't, then you got some serious problems. Sure. But that's not the point of a website. If someone knows your name, even if you're not number one, they're going to find you. They're looking for you. What you need to do is get in front of all those people that don't know who you are. So a really good example, like most multifamily syndication companies are looking for investors. That's their biggest problem, right? And you need a lot of investors because when it comes crunch time to go, hey, give me a 50K, a lot of people disappear. So it's really good if you have a nurture campaign, which I'll talk about in a minute. But understanding exactly what your clients are searching for. So a really good keyword for multifamily people is like how to invest $50,000. Because you can be pretty damn certain that anyone that's searching how to invest 50K has 50K that they want to invest. And actually that keyword has all the different permutations, has quite a bit of search volume, and the competition is pretty low because most people in multifamily have no idea about anything to do with SEO or keyword research. So just by doing something, you can beat the pants off these people. Most of this stuff's not hard. There's always low-hanging fruit. Like you don't want to go after like real estate investing or passive income, some kind of generic term that's going to be super competitive. But if you be creative, you can always find some keywords that aren't as competitive. Like even how to invest 500,000K. The search volume's a lot less, but you can be pretty sure that person has a lot more money to invest. So it could be exactly who you're after. And so how your website needs to work is it shouldn't have your brand name all over it because no one gives a crap about you. The website is the same as sales, right? You got to remember in sales, no one cares about you. They care about what you're going to do for them, what's in it for them. And that's what your website needs to show. Like if someone's searching for a problem, like how do I invest 50K? Your website needs to go, hey, you want me to show you how to invest 50K? They don't really care who you are. Show them how to do it. So you can have a nice article, go, these are the different ways you invest 50K, with the number one being invest in multifamily. And then you want to so you've got the person to that website and then you've got the traffic. Now you need to capture that lead. You don't want to go, hey, hit the buy now button and give me a 50K. That's not going to work. You don't want to like go book a call or call me now. It's not going to work. People don't know you. They don't trust you enough. Where if you have a nice pop-up or a call to action at the bottom of the article that says, hey, download our guide on the 5 biggest mistakes people make when getting started with investing. Well, that's really relevant to someone that's just searched how to invest 50K. And so now they download your guide and they go, wow, this guy really knows what he's talking about. And you show them these are the mistakes that people are going. And now you've got that person as a lead. And that's the whole purpose of website. Get the traffic, capture the lead. And now the most valuable part is what's called a nurture campaign. So this is where you send them gentle emails. You don't want to straight away and go, hey, buy my stuff. You want to nurture them and go, hey, listen to me on this podcast. Look at this, case study of the last deals we did. And so now the person's understanding who you are, what you do. They see you as an authority. And so when you eventually go, hey, book a call with me, Jamie, and they jump on and they go, wow, I've already used to your funny accent. Cool. I'm not going to be shocked when I first jump on a phone to you. and they see you as an authority. They understand what you do, and they know that they're going to be giving you 50K, so that they're not going to waste your time. You want to be able to, especially once you have a website that's really humming with leads, you don't want to be speaking to everyone. You need, a lead magnets to filter people out so that you're only speaking to people that are actually going to become customers. And that's SEO.
I love that. So just to kind of break that down in simple terms, because I'm not in your space, but so you generate the searchable terms that bring people into your universe. Your universe should be something that's value add as opposed to look at me, right? Like, what can I do for this person? You have a lead magnet of some sort, whether it's a PDF, an ebook, some sort of value add lead magnet for people to download, generate, and take a look at and say, okay, I like what this guy or gal is kind of bringing here, and I want to learn more about them, right? I'm assuming that lead magnet is given in exchange for contact information, like an email address, correct?
That's right. You want to keep it as simple as possible. Name and email is all you need.
So you get that. You do a nurture campaign, which is an email a campaign sent to them, like you said, not bothersome, but just more to provide more information about you, or just sort of get to know this lead prospect. And now they're in your database. Now they want to invest with you. You're the authority. That's soup to nuts, essentially the process of SEO.
That's really it, yeah. And just another example on things that people are missing out on nurture campaigns, like especially realtors. I was reading a statistic the other day. I think Americans sell their home on average every 7 years, and they want to use the same realtor, but realtors don't keep in touch. And it's like, man, if you just have a nurture campaign that, especially at the 7-year mark, it goes, hey, Johnny, you're selling your home this year?
Right.
Remember me? Boom, you've got yourself a deal. And that's the same with multifamily, right? It's like, you mightn't have a deal right now. You need to capture that lead, and you need to keep them warm until you got the next deal coming in. Or they mightn't have that 50K available right this minute. So you want to keep them in the loop and keep them nurtured. And that's the power of, the old saying is the money's in the list, and it really is. You need to get people on your list.
Interesting. Let me ask you this, just as an aside. Email open rates hover in the 20-25% range, right? Click rates in that email might be in the single digits. SMS or text has become very popular. Are you starting to see that in the SEO world as another option, or is it not quite there yet?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how advanced you want to get. The more things that you have on a contact form, the more elements that you have, the more valuable that lead is, but the more people will drop off. So like, we've got a site that we're promoting at the moment, the Real Estate Masters Summit, which I'd like to talk about in a little bit.
Yeah.
And you'll notice on the contact, the sign up form there, we have name, email, and phone number. And later on, we want to get more details because it's more valuable the more information you have, because then you can segment your list too. You can send specific stuff to people in California as you can to New York. And you can advertise down to that granularity. But the more things you ask someone from the get-go, the lower your conversion rate's going to be.
Excellent. All right. So you work primarily with real estate investors, correct? That's your niche market?
It's certainly our niche. Pretty much all of our clients are somehow involved in real estate, whether they're a realtor, investor looking for distressed houses, triple net leasing. I learned what that is recently.
Okay. What drew? I'm just curious. What drew you to that? What drew you to the real estate business?
Reid Gooson's podcast originally. Somehow I was on his podcast and went, man, this real estate game's pretty fun. And real estate people understand about investing. And just the more we niche down, the easier it is for us. So like a strategy delivery that I'm doing tomorrow morning is with a luxury realtor in Toronto. And really, she's often, people like to see examples of work we've done. And I showed her a luxury realtor that we work with in Naples. And she's like, wow, look what you do for her. That's amazing. That's exactly what I want. It's like, yeah, we don't have to learn anything new. We're like, because it's the same. It's like, when we're doing stuff for multifamily syndication, we know what works. Like if we pick up a plumber or something, it's like, you got to learn a whole new business. It's hard. You have to understand what works for them. If you're doing cybersecurity or whatever, it's tricky. You need to understand their business, because we can rank any website easy enough. You just do the keyword research and work out how to rank it. But if the client's not going to make money, then they're not going to stick around with us. And so we need to make sure that all of those bits work. If we just generate traffic and high rankings and they don't make any money, well, yeah, that's not working. It's not really about the traffic and the rankings. It's about how many customers pop out the other end that matters. And that's really what we focus on. And that's why we focus in real estate.
I think that's important, though. I mean, we talk a lot about. There's been a lot of discussion about hiring an accountant, for instance, or an attorney or whatever. And it's always the same advice given by anybody with any experience in real estate is, look, CPAs, accountants, yes, they understand tax law, but a real estate focused CPA really understands the nuances and the ins and outs of the real estate investor's tax situation. And I would imagine, and it sounds like it's the same in your space, like you said. SEO, you can find plenty of people that can work with you for search engine optimization, building your site and building it out so that you can attract leads and attract investors and all of that stuff. But general SEO focused companies versus somebody who's niched down like you into the real estate space, it makes a difference. It really does. So I just wanted to make sure I put that out there. I had a couple of other questions, but I want to hear a little bit more about the Real Estate Marketing Summit. That's something I think you're involved in. I've seen it advertised out there. So good job. It's popping up. It's popping up on my feed.
Well, thank you.
What is this, and what's your involvement in it?
So, like as I mentioned, we work like primarily in real estate, and that's got us some massive contacts. And so, because COVID's around and no one's doing summits anymore, we put together an online summit called the Real Estate Master Summit. It kicks off on the 1st of June and it's 100% free. Our host is Tony Potts. He's also the host of Access Hollywood and hosted the Sundance Film Festival this year. So he's a pretty big deal. We've got massive speakers like Avery Carr that I just mentioned. And it's not like a podcast. This is people giving presentations and showing exactly what they've done. So Avery will show you exactly how she grew from 53 million to 158 million in 12 months. We got my favorite marketer in the world, Don Miller from StoryBrand. We got Jim Kirkpatrick, who's the vice president of CBRE. We got Ira from the president of Eastern Union Bank. We got Sam from Real Closers, Tristan from Lab Coat Agents, David Green from the co-founder of Bigger Pockets and the KW franchisee of California. There's 42 speakers in total, and it goes for 7 full days, and it's 100% free and kicks off on June 1st. So get a free ticket at realestateMastersSummit.com.
RealestateMastersSummit.com?
That's right.
Beautiful. That's amazing. We'll drop that in the notes here as well so people have access to that. That's incredible, man. So why Vietnam?
Because I was just traveling originally and then fell in love with the place, got the wife, got the kids, and now there's no escape.
Good for you. So this is permanent home for the time being, at least. It's permanent home.
This is, for sure.
Very cool. Very cool. And I'm gonna have to edit this part here, but there was something else you just said a moment ago that was interesting to me. Before we hit the before we got into the discussion point on the Real Estate Master Summit. Oh, what did you say?
Why was I putting on a summit? Maybe.
No, I can ask that. But there was something else that you just mentioned. Hold on, I got it close. One of my kids just.
Yeah, sure, no worries.
Oh, I forgot. I guess I'll have to just scratch that. But yeah, let's go back to the summit. Okay. So yeah, give me what was the question you wanted me to ask? Like, why the Real Estate Summit?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So tell me why this summit? Why is it free? First of all, why is there so many great speakers that are speaking for free, and why are you involved in it?
Well, for one, it's fabulous for us because we get to be connected with some awesome people. Like, I'm now working with David Green on one of his new finance projects, which is just amazing. The summit's been a success for us already, just with speaking to the biggest rock stars in real estate. And it's free because we want to get as much exposure to as many people as we can and share as much knowledge as we can. This is how a lot of these people make money too, is like, Avery helps people. She sells vacation rentals. She needs to get her name out there. So it's a win-win for everyone. They get to show people what they do, hopefully make some new clients themselves. And, it certainly builds our brand as well. So it's been a lot of fun.
I think that's a great answer. And I think about this from a standpoint of, especially newer investors, younger investors often are hungry to make money. Like, I want to make money. And the step they miss in the middle, and you've articulated it really well with this summit and just even with the whole entire process of SEO, is you have to add value. add a ton of value in order to get it back. I mean, one of the great marketing guys out there right now that's all over the place is Gary Vaynerchuk, right? I'm sure you've heard of him. And he always talks about the jab, 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 left hook, right? Like add value, add value, add value. And once you've added enough, at some point that left hook is where you can likely monetize, where you can likely get that investor to come with you, that they know, like, and trust you. Or in this case, yeah, I mean, go to the summit, 42 speakers over 7 days. That's an incredible value. Even if it was $100 or $200, that's incredible value. But you get to extract from that information, knowledge, and follow some people that eventually you may want to invest with, or model, or get coached by, or whatever the case may be. So follow that model, follow that example. I think that's a really, really great way of putting it. So
a really good book on that I read last year by Simon Sinek called The Infinite Game. You know, he really talks about how long business is for, and it's for infinity. It doesn't stop. So like, stop thinking about this quarter or this year or next quarter or next year. It just goes on forever. And once you get out of that mindset, it's really good. Like, he uses lots of examples, like, Kodak invented the digital camera, but they didn't want to let go of their film business. So eventually Kodak no longer exists. And, one day Google will not exist. And I'd like Ardors to still be around after that. Our actual business is not particularly SEO. It's getting our clients more customers. That's what we focus on doing. SEO is the medium in which we do it at the moment, but one day that will change. And when you get that kind of mindset shift and focus on longevity, then investing in your website for the long term is so much better than buying Facebook ads or YouTube ads. And putting on this summit has been a crazy amount of work. Holy cow, I need a holiday. But it's so much fun. Like, I wake up at like 4:30 every morning, just pumped, ready to get into it. And it costs a bloody lot of money too, but I know the returns are going to be way worth it.
Amazing. Amazing. So check that out. Realestatemasterssummit.com.
That's it.
Perfect. And make sure you check out Kris as well. Kris, how can people reach out to you and get to know you a little bit more?
Yeah, so if they go to our website, Ardor SEO, and if you can't tell from my funny accent, Ardor means to do something with a fiery passion, and it's spelled ARDOR, SEO.com. So /multifamily and more. There'll be a landing page there, and you'll see exactly what a damn good lead magnet looks like, and a really great nurture campaign. So if you go there, you'll see you put in your details, and I'll do a video review for you. So I'll show you exactly what your potential customers are searching for, in what search volume, and then show you some simple things you can change yourself on your website to get it in front of where these people are actively looking for exactly what you do, and predictably grow your business. So it's ardorseo.com /multifamily and more.
That's amazing. I appreciate you making that link for us. And yeah, that's incredible. That video was, I'm absolutely going to be going to that to watch this video and see what this is all about. So, man, I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on, and what incredible value you've given us today. I appreciate it. I've learned a ton. I honestly, I had kind of, thumbed my nose at the idea of SEO anymore. I thought it was a 2003 term at this point. So you've given me, I'm serious, you're giving me a ton of insight into the power of what it can be and how powerful it is with fueling your website. Like you said, put up a website, great, but if you don't have the fire behind it with SEO, then doesn't do much good for you. And I'll definitely be checking out this summit. So I definitely appreciate all that you brought to the table today. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, sir.
All right.
A, B, C, D,